Morning.
Oh, morning.
You're the first one here. Didn't expect that, did you?
Well, I didn't expect, I wasn't sure. I could have probably made it for 10, but it wasn't quite, I wasn't quite convinced I was organised enough.
Yeah. Oh, actually, let me turn off this light because I know. Have you got kind of a flickering, shimmering effects?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me just change the lighting in here. It's a lamp that I actually really like to work on. It's kind of soft, but I don't know why it creates that. Whoa, so you feel like you're in some strobe disco.
Yes, I'm not sure what my signal's going to be like either because they haven't got their internet set up yet.
Oh, well, the picture looks nice and crisp.
Sorry?
Looks nice and crisp.
Okay.
So fingers crossed.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. It might be better than being at home. You never know.
It might be. Yeah, you have to go there every week. So Sharon will probably pop in a minute or two because she said she'd be late. But I wonder if Geraldine's done what she did last week and trotted off with her dog.
No, she did actually put another message in saying she'd been trying to get in and couldn't get in, and then saw the message. So.
Oh bless. Oh, my fault then. My fault.
No, I'm sure it's not a problem. I mean, obviously she was trying to get in at the normal time, but
yeah.
I'm just hoping these sofa men don't turn up early then. Otherwise,
well,
I'll be
yeah.
at the end. Which would be a bit of a pity if we're doing meditation. But.
It will. Yeah, fingers crossed. They either come before we do that bit or after.
Well, they're supposed to be between 11 and 2.
Okay.
So
okay. Yeah.
It could be any time. I don't know.
No.
But that's why I came over early because I couldn't get from my house to hers in like no minutes.
No. Oh, right. Well, how have you been getting on this week? How's your week been so far?
It's sort of gone a bit pear-shaped since Tuesday, really.
Oh, that's not.
Not great. I haven't been able to focus. My mum's not been so good, and it's just a lot of liaising with my sisters and brother and the hospital and whatever. So there's been a lot of phone calls and worry, really, and organising things for her.
Yeah.
For when she does come out of hospital. So.
Yeah.
So yes, doing anything else really there's some of the bits been going on, but one of my other rental houses now is going to cause me some headaches, but there you go. Things are central, aren't they?
Yes, they are. Yeah, I mean, none of us are immune to stuff going wrong, that's for sure. But what little pockets of what stuff are you doing, like just even in a tiny way? Are you doing the meditation or listening to the hypnosis?
I've been doing some of the meditations.
Good.
I've listened to a few of your podcasts. I did go out for a run.
Good. Yeah.
It's been raining quite a lot here, so I sort of put it off a few days. But I did go yesterday, which was good, and the weather was decent, so that was good.
Yeah.
I'm still knitting in the evenings.
Great.
So I've nearly finished the second front piece now.
Brilliant. So this is what week. Hi, Jackie. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Oh, I've got to work out how to do my screen now.
Oh, have you? Can you not see everyone? Oh, right. What's happened?
No, because I don't know. Hang on. No, not that one. There must be a way. I can only see you on separate. Well, wait, maybe. No, that's not helping.
I think you might be stuck on a phone. I'm not sure what flexibility you've got, as long as...
You can see more than one person on a phone,
Yeah.
but I don't know quite where to do it. It's not there. Okay.
Oh, we've lost Lynn. I know. she's disappeared. Morning, Jackie.
Sorry. No, I was looking at a menu. I'm just going to have to leave it as it is. Yeah. I'm sure there's a way, because my sister does it on when we have a family chat. But
as long as you can hear us, that's the main thing.
Yeah. Yes, I'm more used to seeing it all on a laptop, but I'll learn.
Yeah, well, it's all a learning curve for all of us. What I was going to say to you, Leslie, just before I properly welcome Jackie in, you were actually pretty good at taking action. So going for the run, doing the knitting, doing some of the meditating, which I recommend you build in, like brushing your teeth, that becomes, I just do this every day. What it's best for you to work on is actually giving yourself more credit for that. So paying a little more attention to it, instead of going, oh no, I've just been, dealing with mother in hospital and making these calls. Actually imagining that someone like me is asking you, going, oh, actually, no, I've been for a run, I've done the knitting, and just paying attention to that helps you keep moving forwards.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And if that's the framework you want to hang your days on, it's so tempting to hang it on the framework of the things going wrong and the mum in hospital and the course siblings and sofas being delivered.
Yeah.
But just shift the framework. It doesn't change what's happening but it does change the way you feel about what's happening.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Try that.
Right. Well, how nice to welcome Jackie. Geraldine is here, sort of.
For some reason. Hello, everybody.
Oh, we can't see you, but you're there. Oh, lovely.
I don't know why I've put join with camera and my camera doesn't seem to be working.
Oh, well, you're here in spirit.
I don't know why. Anyway, I'll. If you see me looking around, I'm just trying to. Can you see me? No.
No.
No. Right.
No.
Okay. So yeah. So I'll just try and get it sorted out. I don't know how, but.
Don't worry.
Yeah,
as long as
carry on.
Yeah. So we very nearly have a full house, and I bet the minute I launch into this, then Sharon will probably join us as well. So anything anyone wants to share with me? I've obviously had a quick chat with Leslie. Geraldine's back with her camera. Anything particular, Jackie, that you want to pitch in? What's your week been like since Tuesday?
Pretty good, actually. Out and about working Wednesday. At home yesterday trying to catch up, and a fairly busy day today, but yeah, pretty good.
Nice. Okay, so what I wanted to focus on today was kind of following on from Tuesday. So I'm presuming, Jackie, did you get a chance to catch up with the recording after we finished talking? No. Okay. So let me just recap a little bit. I'm talking about what I describe as insignificant moments of joy, which, if you just got that tail end of a conversation with Leslie, is kind of what I'm talking about, is noticing those little things that we either consciously doing because we choose to, like the meditating, like the going for a run, like the knitting in Leslie's case, but also being aware of the smallest things in our day, even in the busiest, most challenging, most pulling our hair out days, just capturing the little fleeting moments of whatever it is that makes us feel good. So like, oh, I did that bit well, or even if we've been challenged massively, we might think, well, I handled that relatively calmly when I could have gone off, like a rocket. Or it could be, easy things like, oh, I noticed the birds singing outside the window, even when it was a miserable rainy day. And it has to be, morning, Sharon, it has to be those tiny things that we know will happen in each of our days, no matter what, because they do happen, but we need to pay attention to them. So if you think, and I don't normally do this, but I'm going to invite us, both Sharon and Jackie here, in your stress-filled day, so say you're having one of those days where you don't know your arse from your elbow because the demands on you are huge and everybody's asking for something, everybody's wanting something, like there's something blowing up over here and there's something blowing up over there. Just step into that for a moment and think, what tiny thing could I take, what little pocket of positivity could I take from that that's just about me, and something I could perhaps feel, you know, a sense of pride for, or a sense of gratitude for, a sense of pleasure in. Can you think of something that might just spring to mind?
I got a couple of things this week.
Yeah.
Quite easy to do this week.
Oh, go on, share with us if you don't mind. Do you mind sharing?
I can share. I audited a guy on Wednesday that was absolutely shaking at the knees. He was not in a good space at all. I felt like I was a tin of a ham, to be honest. But it all went well. I got the most beautiful text the next morning thanking me. Just lovely words. It was just really, really nice to receive. And this morning, my lovely friend and colleague, who's around here somewhere at the moment, she came in with some flowers, a card, and she'd actually made a case for pens or glasses, all in beautiful colours, and she gave it to me because she'd remembered that Dad had passed last year about this time. So she got the biggest hug ever. Sod COVID, she got a hug. She's laughing at me now. So yes, there you go.
That's really nice. That's really nice. So those are beautiful moments that don't necessarily happen every day, and we do want lots of the ones that happen every day as well. But you can, what I was talking about the other day was it's kind of our brains are recording machines. Like, we forget this. Our brains are recording machines, and what makes them different to traditional recording machines is well, or perhaps it probably makes them identical. It will pick up everything. So if you take a photograph of a room, you might think you're focused on one thing, but the camera will pick up everything in its range. And the same with audio. If we set up recording, it will pick up, unless we've got good recording equipment, it will pick up everything in its range. And our brains pick up everything. But it's where we pay attention to what it's picking up that matters. So those examples you just shared, Jackie, are really nice, because you can use the recording machine of your brain to just visually or audibly capture that moment and go, I'm storing this one. This is being stored. And it sounds weird, but when we tell ourselves to do that and we consciously capture that moment, it is like an instruction to our brain to go, okay, store this one, give this one a higher priority than something else, because it will make it easier for our brains to more readily connect and join dots with other lovely moments. But what's really important about this insignificant moments of joy aspect is that it's all the other things in between that we perhaps don't immediately notice or pay attention to. So in the maelstrom of, you know, if I think back to, well, okay, no, let me think of, okay, so yesterday I had a bit of a day from hell. So let me just dive into the world of previous corporate, because most of the time it is really nice that I'm able to work with lovely people and you know, share lovely outcomes and have lovely conversations, you know, and it's all very blissful, and of course my life is completely perfect, isn't it? But sometimes, unsurprisingly, things go a little bit awry, shall we say. And yesterday was one of those days, and it was so easy to have dived into a place of, oh my God, let me just hide away, I can't bear this, I just want to pull the duvet over my head, please, you know, don't make me talk to anybody, don't make me do anything, I don't want to do anything. And that was so tempting to just not have conversations with anybody, to just feel like, oh, no one understands me, and I was doing this, and I, you know, like like we do sometimes. I don't know if, maybe it's just me, but I think we all do that sometimes. And so it's like picking back through that and going, okay, so I can objectively look back and review and go, maybe I could have done a better job. So that still sounds like, oh, hang on a minute, that's still not a moment of joy, is it? That's still a little pocket of almost self-criticism. But I can give myself credit in the fact that I've been able to calmly step away from something and objectively evaluate a situation. And that doesn't sound joyful, but actually that is a little bit joyful, because that's progress from a place that I used to be. Something like yesterday used to take me into such a dark place of inadequacy, of monumental self-doubt, of potentially suicidal thoughts. And I don't mean raiding the drugs cabinet. I mean just feeling like, what is the point of me? You know, I do my best and my best isn't good enough, and I've done it all wrong, and I always do it wrong, and nobody understands, you know, all of that negative spiral of thinking that is so easy when things go wrong. And I think the corporate world makes that even more likely to feel that way, because other people, and that's what I really want to talk about today, is other people. But I could grab that little moment of joy going, well, I calmly evaluated this, and I was able to walk away, and I was able to think about, well, what do I want? What makes this more about me? How do I regain myself in this situation so I'm not swallowed up, I'm not drowned? And, you know, I came up with something, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to send this email, and it's just going to be in integrity with me. And so my moment of joy there is going, no, I've regained control of my role in this situation. I can't control what anybody else is going to do, what anybody else thinks or feels or does, but I've regained my control in this situation, and I can feel a little, and I want to store that moment, because that's really important. That's the pathway that threads me, you know, forwards. It allows me to look back on and go, okay, how did I get out of, you know, in the future, because I'm going to store this, create this little recording snapshot for myself. My brain will have quicker access to that next time, because there will be a next time things go horribly wrong. So that was a little bit wordy, but does that add any context that perhaps has some value, especially for you, Sharon, and you, Jackie, but also, of course, for you, Leslie, and you, Geraldine? Does that help in any way? I've confused everybody.
I completely understand what you're saying and coming from. I think that's a really good point too. It's a really good way to help you step back from something and look at something calmly and objectively. In our work, we're constantly reflecting on our own, what's the word? Feedback on ourselves. What was our part in something? What were our strengths? What were our development? It's just constant. And I do think there's a real benefit in that as well. And I really agree with what you're saying. But I think in some work circumstances, you get to the point where you constantly feel you're analysing yourself the whole time, rather than actually, hang on a minute, what was their part in this? But I think what you're saying is step back from it and do it calmly, which is a really good skill to have, and just pick up on that little bit. That's what you did positively in a day full of total stress.
Yeah, because I think, especially in a business environment, any business environment, I mean, that all sounds, and I know you're in it, it all sounds perfectly plausible and logical and reasonable, and, you know, this is a great way to work. But actually, what often happens is we unconsciously we take away more of the criticism, more of the where did I screw up here, because, you know, and more of the hurtful things that might have not intended as hurtful, you know. I'm just giving you feedback. you know, but actually it feels hurtful, and we experience that whether it's at work. We experience that in all kinds of situations, and yesterday that was what happened to me. So it's easy for us to pay attention to all of the hurt, and we're not, you know, I'm not saying, oh, you can just brush that off, it'll never affect you again. That's not true, because we're human beings, and the very fact that we care about things means that we are a little bit vulnerable to being hurt sometimes by what people say or what people do, when we know we're all just trying our best to do whatever it is we do. And so, yes, being able to consciously, and that's it is a skill, I think, but it can be mastered. Of, like, you'll play the game in the workplace or wherever you are, or in a relationship at home. You know, it doesn't have to be a workplace, it can be relatives. I'll play the game of saying what everybody, you know, thinks they need to say, and but internally I'm gonna choose to focus on what I'm doing well and let the other stuff go. You know, the words will come out that might be what you think you need to hear, but what I'm telling myself internally is, well done me. Well done me for not actually losing the plot here. Well done me for having had the resources and the skill to actually come through this with even a grain of credibility, or whatever it is. Well done me for not hitting you around the head with a saucepan. Whatever situation. You know, I know I'm being frivolous, but actually sometimes that's the only thing we can draw from it.
Yes.
But giving ourselves credit, and this comes on to the other thing that I wanted to focus on, because it's very much linked with wanting to be liked. And I think when we want to be liked, we open ourselves up. And I'm not saying we all become Teflon coated and we don't give a damn about anybody. That's not it. But sometimes that desire to be liked means we lose ourselves completely, because we're trying to fit what everybody else expects us to be. It's like, oh well, okay, if I do everything that I think you're asking of me, you know, because again we have to second guess when we're assuming that someone's going to clearly communicate exactly what it is they require from us. But they don't, because they're flawed human beings. So they communicate when we think we've understood what they want. So we try to be whatever it is they're expecting us to be, whether it's son, daughter, mother, employee, employer, colleague, whatever. And we do it, and then it blows up in our face. Like it's not. Apparently, it's not what they wanted. We got it wrong. And so we end up in this loop, this awful loop of trying to do the right thing, and it's not the right thing, because it comes from a place of assuming that other people's version of what they require, A, is right, and B, is actually what they really want, and C, that we've interpreted those correctly, which is a lot of assumptions. Instead, if we allow ourselves to be who we are, knowing that sometimes people aren't going to like what we've said or what we've done, we can start to feel more comfortable just being who we are. And I know that's easy, and you'll have read it a million times, you'll have heard it a million times, but applying it, I know, is not as easy as saying it. But is anyone happy to share maybe a little story of where you know that you've done something because you're trying to do the right thing and it's come off badly, or maybe where you've gone, no, I'm not doing that now, and you've come away from it feeling better? Does anyone would like to share a story, or happy to share a story?
Got one that ends up being quite comical. Which
yeah, go on. Yeah,
it might be a light-hearted moment for a Friday. My dad was at the stage where we had to get massive stocks via Amazon of what do you call them? Adult diapers.
Oh, right, yeah.
I can't think what you call them, but there's a name for them.
Yeah.
And it was my sister-in-law's 40th birthday. So I ordered online a special rose for her for her birthday, and I bought diapers, massive pack. But I got muddled and I actually sent the wrong thing to the wrong person. So most people that will know me would know that that was a genuine mistake, but actually she took massive affront with me, didn't talk to me for however long. And my instant reaction, which I didn't voice because obviously this was at a distance, was that how can you actually think that I did that deliberately, that my birthday present for you was a massive pack of diapers? But actually, I felt hurt to start with, that she thought that, but actually I thought that's her problem, that's not my problem, and actually I genuinely had just got it round the wrong way. But it still is much humour in the family now.
It's a good mix-up. I like that as a mix-up.
Totally genuinely accident.
What did your dad think of the flower? He probably loved it, didn't he?
He loved it, yeah. Well, he was happy either way.
Yeah. Well, at least he got a good end of the deal. But I like that what you've expressed is exactly that you went through that, I feel hurt, which is understandable, but you were able to step away from it and go, actually, I can't change, I'm not sure I understand why you feel that way, but I can't change it. And just don't absorb that, don't take that on, because I think that's what we often do. And I was going to say more so in the workplace, but we don't, because we often do this with families too. We then take on responsibility because, I've got to make this better. I've got to do something else. Like, now I've got to add some more, like if we go back to my buckets, if you remember those from the early on, or now I've got to put more stuff in my bucket because I've got to contribute to increasing my sense of overwhelm with another thing I now have to do and another thing I need to worry about because someone got upset or didn't like something I did. And that's why it's so damaging, and that's why mastering the art of going, can I really do anything about this? No. Okay. Moving on. It's hard, but it will maintain your resilience and enable you to then, as Jackie beautifully shared, to laugh about it, even if they're not laughing with you, that's fine, that's their problem. But you can laugh about it and you can go, oh, let me tell you this story, which is great. I'm assuming Geraldine is there. Geraldine, are you there?
I am.
Oh, good.
I've been trying desperately to get my video, my camera to work. I don't know why I can't do it. And I realised I was getting sidetracked with trying to sort it out. So I've stopped so I can listen properly. So yes, sorry, I don't know what's wrong. I'm beating myself up that I can't resume it. But then I suppose you're looking at my face, I suppose.
Well, you shouldn't be beating yourself up though, don't you? Already.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. Well, this was it. This is why I decided to stop. But
good. Yeah. So, what I thought we'd do. I don't want. I think sometimes these sessions, although I know, like you're here and you want. Maybe you do want to hear what I've got to say, but sometimes I think there's perhaps a little bit too much of me talking. What might you already be able to take away? Are you already thinking of situations or maybe relationships or anything in relation to work or home or whatever that you might just be able to consider shifting something based on just the little conversation we've had this morning? Is there anything that springs to mind for anyone?
Well, I've already had a situation which I don't want to dwell on because it's been really painful, but it's to do with family relationships for me. And I know that one of my nieces really needs some rescuing at the moment. But I just know that I'd be on a hiding to nothing really, and I can't. And I really want to step in as the rescuer to make everything all right, because that's my role in the family. I try and make everything all right, and I just can't do it because for the long, sorry, sad story, which I won't go into because it's too, well, one, it's too painful, two, it's too long, and three, I'm trying to leave it all behind. But I've actually severed ties with some members of my family for things that, again, that you touched upon, being blamed for something that I didn't do, or I have a brother who's a trouble causer, and he's I'm getting sucked into it, and I don't want to. But
not done for catching yourself.
So yes, I've had to really, really, really just stop and question my role within the family, and just stepping away from it and just not being involved in their lives anymore, and actually accepting that I don't like a lot of my family members, even though I've always accepted them and loved them, and I don't actually like a lot of them, and I don't need the pain that they cause me. So that's been a big thing for me over the past couple of years. But yeah, so I've already done that thing about stepping away from a situation and just accepting that I can't make it right. Yeah. Is that what you were asking?
That's brilliant. And I think that's exactly it, is recognizing, you know, almost the very first word you used was about rescuing. And even if we don't realize that that's what we're doing, I think quite often that can be a role we step into, of someone else feels bad, I need to change it. And again, that's comes from a similar place of the being liked thing. But we can't, in exactly the same way, you can't rescue them, just as Jackie couldn't rescue her sister-in-law from her effrontery. Yes, it's going, okay, I realise this is how you're feeling. I'm just doing my best to be me, and I know that I'm working on being really comfortable with that. And I am here, and I am caring, but that doesn't mean I need to chase after everybody and rescue them. I just continue doing the best I can to be the best that I am, but that doesn't mean being the best of what you would like me to be, or what someone else would like me to be. That's the best of who I know I can be. And that's quite a monumental shift that takes a little while sometimes to really get our heads around, because especially in menopause, it is so easy to lose ourselves. It sounds like a crazy thing, but I think we all know it, that
definitely,
yeah, we just get on this treadmill of doing things, and then suddenly thinking, why am I'm not even sure why I'm doing this, and I don't know why am I doing this. I can't, I've lost count of how many times I know I've done that. You're just so on this treadmill that you don't even stop to question, and it can take a little while for the treadmill to slow down. And you go, oh, flipping out, there's a stop button here. I can step off this for a moment, just regain my thoughts, and then set the pace that I want. But I think that's really great, Geraldine, that you not only are you doing that, but recognizing as you tell the story. And I think very early on I talked about how when we create that pause, when we can just recognize ourselves, falling into the abyss of negative thinking, it's going to make us feel bad. If we can just recognize it first, that gives us the opportunity to change it. And you demonstrated that really beautifully. You caught yourself in that moment and you went, no, I'm not going there, which is massive progress. And I hope you value yourself for that.
I'm beginning to feel better with the situation, and I think it came from somewhere, finding deep down within me a little teeny grain of self-esteem somewhere that I had lost completely, and I felt, oh, hang on, there's a little bit there somewhere at the bottom that might be able to grab. It was like deep sea diving with no with no breathing equipment, and I was and I thought, no, I am not having this. And anyway, so I just thought, no, I don't deserve to be treated like this. I don't deserve to, and that was eventually, I've been building it up.
Nice.
But there was something I wanted to say about something Sharon said last week about she felt that she was coming out of the menopause, or it finished. But I didn't know what Sharon meant by that, and she might want to explain to me what she means by that, because what I was thinking is, whilst the hot flushes aren't as bad as they were and the night sweats have gone and things like that, I actually wonder whether it's where we have to accept that it takes something away from us that we perhaps will never get back, and we have to just replace it with different things. That we have to.
That's such a good point, honestly, Geraldine, because I've been really confused over it all, thinking that I still, just like you said, you still have these symptoms. I don't know. It's taken something away, and I was questioning myself, thinking, if I feel like you say the hot sweats aren't as bad, they still come and go. Night sweats have gone, really.
Yeah.
Things like that. I thought, well, maybe I'm out the other side of it. So why the heck am I still feeling, low self-esteem and dreadful memory and brain fog? Why is that still happening? And maybe you're right. So I thought I shouldn't really even deserve to feel like that. There's something wrong with me that I'm still having these symptoms. And I thought, God, I'm just fundamentally a pile of crap at the moment. But I'm listening to you thinking, maybe it is that taking some time out to really think, maybe it has just taken something, it's changed something in life, acknowledging that, accepting it, and thinking, right, now, where are we at, what are we left with, and how do we move forward in a positive way?
Yeah.
So that's helped with you saying that, because I was confused as to why, thinking, gosh, I might have come out the other side of it pretty much, and yet I'm still having this. What's wrong with me?
Yeah.
But it's quite interesting that you said that. Maybe it just takes something from us that changes us from the young, agile brain person that we were to maybe something slightly different, and we now need to accept that and move forward with it.
Yeah. And also, I just think that there's a grieving process as well. I think that I've been doing a lot of grieving, and not only for the loss of, well, I say the loss, not only because my family, when I say my family, I'm talking brothers and sisters-in-law and nieces, and I don't have children. But I felt really, really sad and sorry, and not sorry for anything I'd done wrong, because I hadn't, but very sad that I realised that all this effort I've put in the past really wasn't appreciated. But so there was a sense of grief there, but I think it was compounded by the sense of a feeling of grief for the loss of the way I used to be. And I think that's basically acknowledging that there's a loss of youth. And it's I'm sorry if I'm bringing the mood down, because it is, but that's where I think that I was at rock bottom, because I just thought, well, my life's, what can I do? I've got no end. I feel like this, I've lost my confidence. I can't do anything, and time's running out. Everything I was thinking of doing, I panicked, and I was saying to my husband, but time's running out, I don't have time now, that's it, I just don't have this time. And it was so debilitating. And it's too late for this and it's too late for that, and it was all a sense of grief. And I think that once that you realise that that part of the life has gone, but there's a whole new stretch of life to make the most of, then you can just think, well, I'll just start this and do this, and start new things, try new things, or start enjoying again the things that I used to enjoy, because you can.
Do you know what, Geraldine? From my point of view, I don't think you've brought the mood down. I think that was quite profound.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think that's great, and everything you described, Geraldine, was everything that I was thinking too, when before I had this kind of, oh, hang on a minute, why don't I do this? Everything you talked about, too late. I was trying to say it was all too late. I was at rock, you used the term rock bottom. I was at absolutely, this can't get any worse. And I reached that point of the pain of not doing something different was not as great. You know, if I left things the same, that was much more painful than actually doing something different. Even though I had no idea what the different thing was, I had to do something different. And I think maybe that was the catalyst for me, but I don't think that's what we want from it. We don't want to wait until we're on the floor to actually go, oh, well, I'll just wait till I get there, and then I'll see how I get on, or take on a new hobby or something, because that's not really how we want to live. And I think, to answer your question, Sharon, if I may, about why it doesn't get better. You come out the other side and think, oh great, well, I sailed through the valley of death, and now there's a bright new horizon, and there isn't. I think there are physical elements. So we know that when we hit menopause, estrogen impacts on serotonin, which is a happy, calming chemical, and so we are biologically, we have a shift that we're not producing enough of the chemical that is a happy, calm, I can do this chemical. So we know that happens, but I think the shift that Geraldine's just described that makes the difference, that I think is what I discovered, is that that's not the only way you create serotonin, but you do have to shift your thinking processes. You do have to think differently about your life, yourself, about, as Geraldine described, maybe taking up something new that excites you, or reconnecting with something old that used to excite you, because those things can also build serotonin. We are not wholly dependent on that estrogen, but if we remain in that menopausal state long enough without recognizing that we could maybe change things in a different way, we create that, that downward spiral that just drags us deeper and deeper down, and builds those negative neural pathways that keep us trapped. And of course, the more we're trapped in it, the worse it gets, because one negative thought leads to another, leads to another, leads to another. And so we create these patterns. So when we come out the other side, we've not only got depleted serotonin levels that are happy, calm, and coping, but we've also created a nice, powerful, rutted motorway of negative thinking that we're kind of stuck with. And then it's like turning a juggernaut, on a narrow country lane. It's like, how do we do this then? And I don't know whether that adds any value to what Geraldine so beautifully expressed, but I just thought it might be useful to add that little bit. But we missed out on doing any of the relaxing last time, so I don't want anyone to miss out this time. So if you'd like to all get yourself comfortable, we'll turn off camera. I mean, Geraldine doesn't have to turn off the camera, but we'll turn off cameras to maintain sound quality, including me. And just get yourself as comfortable as you can, and that may simply be just sitting with your hands in your lap and your feet on the ground, nicely firmly planted, and just closing your eyes. And just doing that can be enough. In fact, if I said nothing more at all and just allowed you to sit here, or you allowed yourself to just close your eyes and just allow the outside world to continue the way it always does. Just allow it to move around and past, and thoughts to flow in and thoughts to flow out. Just the very act of closing your eyes, slowly but surely, slows things down. Slows down time almost. Even if it doesn't happen straight away, slowly but surely, the heart rate comes down. There are ease and increased sense of calm. Just allow yourself this gift you give to yourself of the present moment. Perhaps no coincidence. Present gift, a gift you give to yourself. Allow yourself to simply rest for a moment with your eyes closed. Just sense the space that you're in. Give yourself some space. Allow your thoughts to run. The thoughts will run in and run out. And it may be that you knit together different processes in your mind. Thoughts come together in a way that's different. Sometimes when you step back in this way, closing your eyes, just accepting that there's nothing whatsoever for you to do in this present moment. Nobody wanting anything in this present moment. It allows you to momentarily step away with your eyes closed and allow those teeny grains of something different. Those thoughts that sometimes are so hard to grasp, to just gently float into your awareness, into the space. Allow and let things unfold. No pushing, no controlling or driving, just letting things unfold in a way that suits you, however, whenever it suits you. Allow yourself to explore without using effort, just closing your eyes in this space, imagining boundaries expanding beyond the confines of your own body. That sense of empowerment allows you to feel bigger, more spacious. Maybe takes you on a journey of discovery, of joy. Perhaps a journey where you do deep sea dive or just run and take time out to acknowledge who you are, what you are, in a positive way, moving forwards, taking on this fresh new challenge of just resting and relaxing and allowing your thoughts to just settle in the old thoughts that no longer serve you and never really did, just settle down to the bottom like sediment, down to the bottom. And in this way, this positive way, space opens up that allows you to start new things, new thoughts, new moments, new time frames, shifting your thoughts in a way that suits you, opening up in a natural space, and your thoughts can go anywhere, somewhere different, on an adventure. Something new opens up in this space, something adventurous, different. And your form of adventure is different to anybody else's. This is your unique space, your adventure, your fundamental shift of taking time out with space, allowing yourself the time, expanding time and boundaries, moving on a journey where you amplify your power, empowered to amplify this space, to go anywhere in your mind's eye, to let things unfold on your terms, in your time, in this space. Fundamental shifts happen so much more easily when you just allow them to happen. When the old thoughts that no longer serve you just way down. But in this space, imagine them like thoughts in water, and the weight of them just drags them down to the bottom where they simply settle. And what rises is the light and the effervescence. Up to the surface, gently bubbling now, there's space and clarity. You can see more clearly now. And the further and the closer it comes to the surface, the more the light penetrates. And there's a sense, a breath in, a horizon that spreads all around as sunlight streaming into the space that you create, extending boundaries, allowing thoughts to run and knitting together beauty on your terms, in your time. This is your horizon and your space and your boundaries. Your time is now, in the present moment, a gift. And you travel on your journey and take on this adventure on your terms, nobody else's. The shifts and the changes, the challenges are thrilling, a little bit exciting. They're what you choose, not what anybody else dictates. They're yours for you to just sit with or run with, or allow them to piece together, to knit together, to expand, stretching into wider boundaries, but your boundaries. And beginning to allow yourself to notice where your power shifts as you extend. Those boundaries are not boundaries that become looser, they are the edges of your power stretching out. Power that uplifts you, that increases the light and the space, allows you to step back, to step away, to accept what you cannot change, but allow yourself to dive deep into the recesses of your mind that free jewels and light and well-being and discovery and pastimes once forgotten, enjoyed, re-engaged with, perhaps taking on new shape and meaning and form, dusting down, shifting metaphors now up in the loft of your mind, dusting down the boxes and discovering gems inside, challenges that once seemed so delightful, perhaps put away for too long, but now dusted down, released, brought into the light, reconsidered, moving forwards, losing nothing but things that no longer serve you, starting in a positive way to embrace new change, to step forwards, no longer experiencing a sense of time running out, but time expanding. Finding the more you run with these thoughts, the more the path opens up ahead of you. The horizon expands, the light grows. And whatever is your particular cup of tea is what you allow to unfold. No need to find an answer for anybody else but you. Whatever suits you in your time frame, in your comfort zone, maybe stepping out, but in a place of expanded joy, adventure, maybe feeling simply calmer, maybe discovering there's more you know how to do than you gave yourself credit for, but now you do. In this melting, cooking pot, you allow things to come to fruition without a specific plan, just a sense of adventure, of embracing yourself. Something different that takes you somewhere you want to go, and it could be anywhere. It's going to happen. A new sense of self, a new sense of joy, of connection with who you really are. You've already begun the journey. Begun to allow the thoughts to run, begun to step back and step away, to accept what you cannot change, to embrace what you can, to fundamentally take time out, to acknowledge, to move forwards, to take on the challenge you choose, to start new things on your terms. So wherever your thoughts have been running, or even if they've run nowhere at all, you've simply sat and rested and taken a little time out to simply be. allow yourself to notice a greater sense of peace and calm, and choose this present moment to be the gift you give to yourself. Take your time, and when you're ready, gently, slowly, open your eyes, and when you're ready, just return to the group.